Amateur radio Newsline will start in 5 minutes.
W8WKY.
Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2400 with the release date of Friday, October 27th, 2023. To follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST. The FCC takes a fresh look at wireless emergency alerts. Russian amateurs make contacts on the 6-meter band, and a radio signal arrives after 8 billion years. All this and more is Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2400 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, amateur radio's independent, on-the-air news and bulletin service. And now reporting from Valparaiso, Indiana, here's Paul Brown, WD9GCO.
We begin this week's newscast with a look at the life-saving communication known as the Wireless Emergency Alert System. Here in the U.S., the FCC has begun rethinking exactly how these alerts should be transmitted. We have those details from CellMB, KB3TZD.
The FCC is looking for alternative ways for delivery of wireless emergency alerts that do not rely on functioning cell towers. Calling cell networks unreliable, the Commission's Public Safety and Homeland Security Bureau is seeking ways to get messages to the public that do not run the risk of cell towers being knocked out of service or having coverage dead zones. In a public notice released October 19th, the FCC said it was looking for partners to test alternative technologies for emergency alert use. According to a report in Radio World, the FCC is willing to consider satellites, high-altitude balloons, drones, or similar technology to make up for gaps in wireless coverage. The FCC recalled one of the most recent incidents of cell coverage failing when in August, 21 cell sites failed to function in Hawaii during the deadly wildfires in that state. The Commission is asking interested parties to use the electronic comment filing system to contact the FCC within 60 days of the notice's publication. This is CellMB, KB3TZD.
The FCC has also announced that the agenda for its next open meeting on November 15th will include a vote that will modernize and bring more flexibility for amateur radio operators who use the digital modes. The FCC website says the commissioners plan to remove, quote, outdated restrictions, end quote, and allow for more innovation. Residents in southwestern Missouri are about to benefit from an amateur radio repeater system upgrade that will assist in times of bad weather and in other instances. We hear about all of those changes from Randy Sly, W4XJ.
A crucial weather emergency communications system in southwest Missouri will receive an upgrade to expand its reach as a result of a grant of nearly $70,000. The Southwest Missouri Regional Skywarn ham radio repeater system allows storm spotters to reach the National Weather Service Forecast Office in Springfield, Missouri, providing up-to-date eyewitness accounts. Funding for the improvements will come from Amateur Radio Digital Communications, which will channel the grant through the Southern Missouri Emergency Communications Fund. The 10-month-long overhaul of the linked repeater system, known as the 49 Repeater Group, will add new repeaters and replace aging equipment. In the meantime, local amateur radio clubs will be learning more from the group's Michael Blake, N0NWS, who will encourage radio operators to become active in the project as well. This is Randy Sly, W4XJ.
A repeater system elsewhere is trying to recover. Although wildfires near Chattanooga, Tennessee have been brought under control, the region's High Point repeater site has been left disabled by cable damage left behind by the blaze. The 220 megahertz repeater, the Wires X repeater, and the APRS digipeater and iGate system of the Lookout Mountain Amateur Radio Community, N4LMC, will not return to use until further notice, according to the club's website. The damage also temporarily knocked a broadcast FM station off the air. The Lookout Mountain Amateurs website said that the group will need to replace all of the cables at the site. They are also awaiting word from the tower owners about possible damage to the tower, guy wires, and anchor points. If you happen to hear an amateur with a Russian call sign while you're listening on the band between 50 and 52 megahertz, you're not imagining things. And no, that ham is not violating any regulations. Ed Durant, DD5LP, tells us what's happening.
Russian amateurs holding that country's highest class of radio license are now being permitted to use the 6-meter band, with up to as much as 1 kilowatt, under a verbal agreement with the Russian regulator. According to a report in the November 2023 issue of Funk Telegram, hams are working to secure written permission for 6 meters, which is not officially defined as an amateur band in Russia. Hams with Russian call signs have been using the band since 2014 from Crimea, when that territory was annexed. This was a privilege carried over from the time when the 6-meter operation was permitted in Crimea, when it was part of Ukraine. Funk Telegram quotes Alexander Kozlov, RW5C, an active amateur who is on the air from Moscow, as confirming to the magazine that a number of amateurs like him are now being heard regularly on the band and are making contacts. Russian amateurs have long contended that if authorities recognize 6-meter operation from Crimea, the privilege should be extended to all Russian hams. This is Ed Durant, DD5LP.
Radio enthusiasts in the UK turned on their shortwave sets for an on-air celebration. And Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, tells us about it.
100 people turned out on Tuesday the 17th of October for an 80th anniversary celebration at the UK's last remaining shortwave radio transmitting site. Countless others attended the party from a distance, as shortwave listeners who later sent in reception reports. The Wooferton transmitting station, which was built by the BBC during the Second World War, is owned by Encompass Digital Media. Its celebration broadcast was transmitted to listeners in Europe as an analog broadcast on 17.785 MHz and as a DRM broadcast on 11.725 MHz. In a rare change of programming schedule, the station also used its oldest transmitter, a Marconi BD272, built in Britain in 1963, to send programming to North America on 15.245 MHz. To hear the anniversary broadcast, click on the link that you can find in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. This is Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
YLs throughout Australia and beyond are getting ready for a few days of socializing and talking about one of their favorite topics, amateur radio. Graham Kent, VK4BB, tells us what's on the agenda.
It's been a tradition every few years since 1984, a national get-together of the members of ALARA, the Australian Ladies Amateur Radio Association. Next month, the in-person contacts will be made in Hobart, where YLs from the organisation will meet up, some for the first time, without having to call CQ. ALARA Meet, as it is known, is now held every 3 years. It features a busy agenda on the 4th and 5th of November, a mix of amateur radio activities and social outings, including a tour of historic sites and an optional cruise. It's not unexpected to have an international attendance. Many of the 200 or so ALARA members live overseas and have their membership sponsored by YLs living down under. Created in 1975, ALARA works to nurture women's participation and enthusiasm for all things amateur radio. This is Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
Once again, Newsline is preparing to select the recipient for its International Newsmaker of the Year award. We launched the award in 2019 with our editorial staff recognizing the individuals, groups, or formal clubs who have spent the previous year bringing amateur radio into the spotlight, showing its positive values and contributions to the community. We are broadening the award's scope this year by acknowledging that the dissemination of information to the public about amateur radio's positive influence no longer relies solely on mainstream media. This year, and going forward, the award will be presented to a recipient who has illuminated amateur radio's role in mainstream media or via internet channels. Stay tuned in the weeks ahead. We will select a winner to be announced in early December. Time for you to identify your station. We are the Amateur Radio Newsline, heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the Utah Amateur Radio Club's W7SP repeater, Sundays as part of the club's 9 p.m. net. The Scouting Organization recognizes Jamboree on the Air as the largest scouting event in the world. But for one group participating in Wisconsin, the global amateur radio activity created some personal and very local triumphs. Patrick Clark, K8TAC, gives us those details.
In a small village just east of Wausau, Wisconsin,
Scouts were making QSOs as part of the Jamboree on the Air weekend on Saturday, October 21st. They were using the call sign of the Wisconsin Valley Radio Association, W9SM. 8 volunteer operators from the club helped the Scouts get on the air. These radio contacts weren't about the pursuit of QSL cards, but the chase for one of 3 merit badges: the radio merit badge, the signs, signals, and codes merit badge, and the communications merit badge. The activity attracted Scouts from other parts of Wisconsin and some as far away as Minneapolis, Minnesota. According to Nicholas Schilling, KC9FEM, all 22 Scouts who had enrolled to get the radio merit badge succeeded in that effort, and many of the others completed part of the requirement toward the other 2 badges. Perhaps the biggest challenge of the day was faced by Gary Harrison, W9CPY, an Eagle Scout who is also president of the Wisconsin Valley Club. Gary said that one Scout who lives on a farm locally made a radio contact with a Scout in Canada who also happens to live on a farm. The 2 got on quite well, almost to the point of an extended rag chew. Gary later told Newsline, quote, "I couldn't get the microphone back," end quote. This is Patrick Clark, K8TAC.
On Tuesday, October 24th, the 100-year-old Grimeton radio station transmitted a message of peace to the world from Sweden in a celebration that was also live-streamed on YouTube and accompanied by a ham radio activation. Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, has that story.
The broadcast hosted by the Alexander Grimeton Friendship Association in Sweden marked UN Day by sending its station's call sign SAQ, followed by a message of peace in CW. The 200-kilowatt Alexanderson alternator began its transmission at 1500 UTC on 17.2 kilohertz. Those who could not be present at the World Heritage Site were able to watch it live on the YouTube channel of the Friendship Association. Amateur radio operators also participated using the call sign SK6SAQ for contacts using CW and SSB on 80, 40 and 20 meters. It's all over now, bar the waiting. The operators of the historic transmitter are expecting QSL reports from listeners who received the long-wave transmission. The Grimeton amateurs are also waiting, too, for those who made their contacts on HF. This is Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
Hams and shortwave listeners alike are invited to participate in a radio event that celebrates the reach of shortwave and its powers to send music and other programming around the world. Here's Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF, with the details.
If you thought the days of shortwave broadcast listening were gone, you may be wrong, as a broadcast station in Taiwan is reaching out to the global amateur radio community for assistance with its international shortwave event that continues until 14th of November. The Fushun Broadcasting Station is asking listeners to send reception reports that include such details as favorite music being heard or favorite program. The listening frequencies are 9.410 MHz, 9.774 MHz, and 15.375 MHz. Listeners who provide reception details will be sent a QSL card. The station also broadcasts locally on AM and FM, but that programming is not involved in this activity. Reception report forms can be downloaded from the station's website, which appears in the text version of this week's newscast. If you have questions about the shortwave event, send an email to fhbst@fhbs.com.tw. This is Jim Meechan, ZL2BHF.
If you are in the log for a successful contact with the Swains Island W8SD expedition, you're in plenty of good company. The team reports that they made 89,530 QSOs with 21,471 unique call signs. Contacts were evenly distributed across 3 largest global regions. Europe accounted for 35.1%, North America for 30.8%, and Asia for 29%. More details and other statistics can be found on Club Log using the link in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. In the world of DX, be listening for June, OE1JUN/JH4RHF Operating as H44RH from Honiara in the Solomon Islands, IOTA number OC-047. He is on the air until the 31st of October. After that, he has tentative plans to operate as H40RH from Pigeon Island, IOTA number OC-065 in Tamutu Province between the 1st and 9th of November. Check QRZ.com for updates. QSL to OE1JUN. Ed N2HX is active as V4/N2HX from St. Kitts, IOTA number NA104 until the 18th of November. Listen for him in the CQ Worldwide DX Single Sideband Contest using the call sign V49R. QSL via home call, direct, or bureau. Listen for Pierre, VE3KTB, and Alexei, VE1RUS, operating as VY0ERC from the Eureka Amateur Radio Club station in Ellesmere Island, IOTA number NA008, through the 22nd of November. See QRZ.com for details. Tom, BK2WN/SP7WT, is on the air until the 30th of November as AX37EUDXF to celebrate the 37th anniversary of the European DX Foundation. See QRZ.com for details. If you've ever waited for what seems like forever for a DXpedition's QSL card to arrive, well, imagine waiting a really long time. We mean a really long time for the signal itself. Ken Peterson, KC0DGY, tells us about one radio signal that has finally arrived after 8 billion years.
You might call it long path taken to the extreme. A fast radio burst from a galaxy far, far away that has only arrived on Earth now, after 8 billion years. The signal apparently is none the worse for the effort. Scientists say this mystery blast of waves is likely the most energetic they've ever seen, releasing the same amount of energetic emissions as the sun is capable of doing over a 30-year period. It's the latest example of what astronomers call FRB, which stands for Fast Radio Burst. The radio signals last barely a millisecond. Scientists have been receiving and watching them since 2007. This latest reception of the universe's remarkable operating mode even inspired a name, FRB 202200610A. Astronomers wrote about it in the journal Science, which published it on Thursday, October 19th. The team of researchers believe this latest burst may be the result of a small cluster of galaxies attempting to merge, which results in explosions that create new stars. One theory suggests that FRBs are a means of gauging the amount of matter between galaxies. While all this rapid, fancy flashing seems remarkable, scientists assure us that FRBs are quite commonplace. Radio telescopes are being built in Australia and South Africa with the goal of detecting more of them from even more distant places in the cosmos. In this case, the sky is not the limit anymore. This is Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
If you have a piece of amateur radio news that you think Newsline would be interested in, send it on. Now, we're not talking about advertising your club's upcoming Hamfest or Field Day participation, but something that is out of the ordinary. If so, send us a brief overview via the contact page at arnewsline.org. If it's newsworthy and we'd like to cover it, we'll get back to you for more details. Meanwhile, visit our website to learn more about the Amateur Radio Newsline Haiku Challenge. Use the entry form on our website, and please follow the rules for writing your 3-line haiku, and be sure to check out our previous winners. With thanks to Alara, Amateur Radio Daily, the ARRL, the BBC, CQ Magazine, CNN, David Behar, K7DB, Encompass Digital Media, the FCC, 425DX News, Funk Telegram, Nicholas Schilling, KC9FEM, KRMS Radio, Radio World, shortwaveradio.de, Wireless Institute of Australia, YouTube, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at arnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide. I'm Paul Brown, WD9GCO in Valparaiso, Indiana, saying 73. As always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2023. All rights reserved.
W8WKY. Timeout.
This is KD8SLG, the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association, Club Net. Will start in about 9 minutes. NetLogger is up and running for those of you who want to partake in that. I'll be back. KD8SLG.
KD8SLG, KAQKO.
Hi, Nick. How you doing? What's up?
Hey, I'm mobile and almost to my destination, so I was wondering if you could throw me on the list there as in and out, and just get me on the numbers.
No, man, can't do it. Not taking any early check-ins for this one. No worries, Nick. I got you on the list, man. Thanks for stopping by. You sure you don't want to come back and play trivia?
Well, I have to run into Target, so I don't know if I'll hear the trivia question before I get back out. So that's why I figured I'd just jump in and out.
All right, man. I got you in and out. If you come back and want to jump in, you know where to find me, man. Have fun shopping. KD8SLG, clear with KEAQKO.
On N8PZD.
Clark, I barely heard you. Got even less than nothing that time there, Clark. I'm going to put you in and out. This is KD8SLG. I'll be standing by until net time.
Must be all that snow getting
KE8RNI, in and out.
39. I'd link up to EAB. 25.
the weekly Serenet, featuring club news, trivia, and check-ins from some of the nicest hams in the universe starts in 5 minutes.
KD8SLG W8ELM radio check.
W8ELM, KD8SLG. You sound absolutely fabulous there, LT.
Thank you, Nick, as do you. W8ELM standing by.
Thanks, Eric. Good to hear you out there. KD8SLG clear.
W8WKY.
Get ready for the weekly Serenet starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
QST, calling all amateurs to the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association Tuesday Night Sarah Club Net, sponsored by the Silvercreek Amateur Radio Association, of course, right here on the W8WKY repeater in Doylestown, 147 Mark 390, positive offset with a PL tone of 114.8. We meet here every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock, right after Newsline. We have a few laughs. We catch up with what's going on with each other. And, of course, there's trivia from the master of all trivia, W8ELM. This is the controlled net, acid all traffic pass-through net control. Your net control operator tonight is Kilo Delta 8, Sierra Lima Golf, KD8 SLG. My personal is Nick, November India Charlie Kilo, just Nick. And for the duration of tonight's net, I will be using the club call sign W8WKY. We got a few announcements. We'll do a couple of rounds of check-ins for in and outs. We'll do a couple of rounds for check-ins for those who are sticking around, and then we will get the party started. Tonight's announcements, briefly. We will have a club meeting in November 16th. Believe it or not, that is 2 weeks and 2 days away. That's the last meeting of the year, because Christmas party in December. That's December 7th. Save the date. And yes, that is a mere 5 weeks away. Look at the calendar. I kid you not. December 2nd will be the last testing session of the year, and that will be held at the Sharon Center, UM Church, from 10 to noon on December 2nd. And I'm sure Stefan will be leading the charge there, W8NB. So, before we get things started, are there any announcements out there from anybody else? Brief announcements, please. Now's your chance. All right, nothing heard. Before we start taking check-ins, is there any emergency or priority traffic out there before we get started? All right, nothing heard there. Well, let's start some in and out check-ins tonight. We'll do a couple of rounds of in and outs, and then we'll get the folks who are sticking around. We'll read the trivia, and we'll get going. This is W8WKY. I'm looking for in and out check-ins. I'm listening.
Bravo 8, Victor Mike Whiskey, Jim in Barberton.
November, Whiskey Sugar, Bill in New London, in and out.
Bingo, H Delta, NT8D, Dave and Copley.
Kilo Bravo 8, Victor Hotel Mike, Tom and Green, in and out.
Kilo Echo 8, Juliet November Hotel, Doug and Rittman, in and out.
Kilo Echo 8, Tango Lima Bravo, KE8, TLB, Brandy and Rittman. Hey, you groovy cat. Thanks for running the net this evening, and I'll be in and out. 73, God bless.
KE8, IME, David, strolling in and out.
QF8, Sierra Foxtrot, sir. Mark and Wadford, in and out.
All right, that was a very orderly opening salvo there. Before the net, I did pick up KE8QKO, N8PVD, and KE8RNI. Thanks, guys. And then we picked up Jim. It was great talking to you this afternoon, Jim. WB8VMW, N8WS, NT8D, KB8VHM, KE8JNH, KE8TLB, KE8IME, and KE8SFS. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Let's do another round of check-ins here, in and outs, and then we'll take regular check-ins. Anybody else for in and out tonight? Now's your chance.
WB0IQK, Mark and Doylestown, in and out.
Kilo Alpha 8, Mike November Tango, Tom in and out.
All right, we added two more to the in and outs there. WB0IQK Mark and K8MNT Tom. Thanks, guys. All right, that's it for the in and outs. Let's take some regular check-ins here. This is W8WKY. I'm listening.
Kilo Echo 8, Whiskey Victor Victor, KE8WVV, Ethan in Manway.
Kilo Echo 8, Quebec Whiskey Echo, KE8QW, Mike in beautiful Seville.
Kilo Echo 8, Uniform India Bravo, KE8UIB, John in Massillon.
W8WKY, this is Kilo Echo 8, Victor Quebec X-Ray, KE8VQX, Joe in Akron.
Echo 8, Victor Zulu Alpha, Eric in Strongsville, KVCA.
This is WO3X, Whiskey Oscar 3 X-Ray, John in Cuyahoga Falls.
All right, let me grab it there. We picked up KE8WVV Ethan, KE8QW Mike, KE8UIB John, KE8VQX Joe, KE8VZA Eric, WO3X John. I must have typed it wrong, John. All right, let's do one more round of regular check-ins, and then we'll go up to Eric and get tonight's trivia question. W8WKY, I'm listening.
Kilo Charlie 8 Hotel Delta Papa KC8 HDP Jerry in Shreve.
W8WKY.
Whiskey 2 Juliet Lima Sierra W2JLS in Fairlawn, Ohio.
Kilo Gulf 4, Sierra Charlie Kilo, Mark Copley.
All right, there we go. We got our group together. We added KC8HDP Jerry, W2JLS John, and KG4SCK Mark. Mark, I thought you forgot to check in there. You're all busy typing in the blue screen. We got a group together here. Let's shoot this up to W8ELM, Eric, and see what he's got for us tonight. W8ELM, what's tonight's trivia question?
W8WKY from W8ELM. At the last minute, I realized I had misplaced the trivia question for this evening, so I've got a little different one. Kind of goes along with Newsline tonight, talking about the fast radio bursts and various other events like the Webb telescope and the discoveries it has been making. It is difficult for mortal humans to comprehend the vastness of the universe. Astronomers use several different units to measure distances in space. Your question for tonight: which of the following units represents the longest distance? Is it A, alpha, 1 astronomical unit, B, Bravo, 1 arc second, C, Charlie, 1 light year, or D, delta, 1 parsec? Which of the following units represents the longest distance? A, 1 astronomical unit. B, 1 arc second. C, 1 light year. Or D, 1 parsec. Back to net.
W8ELM, W8WKY. Thank you very much, Eric, and a hat tip to the parsec there. I'm a Star Wars fan. So there. And for those of you who are wondering why I didn't have a haiku for tonight, well, there's no haiku tonight. I'm not feeling creative. Maybe next Club Net. All right, guys. Eric gave us the question. He gave us the answers. Let's start working the list and see what the answers are going to be tonight. We're going to lead off with Ethan tonight, KE8WVV. He's still in school. He may know this one. Ethan, how you doing tonight? What's your answer to the trivia question?
KE8WVV. Well, I know that Han Solo made the Kessel Run in a certain amount of parseconds, so I think it was like 12 or 13. I don't know. But I'm going to say light year, and I guess that's it. KE8WVV, back to the net.
Well, Ethan, it depends which time Han Solo is telling the story, how many parsecs it took. And apparently you're not aware of Shorter's postulate about choosing C, especially when it comes to answering Eric's questions. But I think that's going to be my answer, too, so I can't dish you on that. Ethan, you have a great night. Thanks for being here. You sound fabulous tonight, by the way. Going to clear with KE8WVV. Next up, we got Mike, KE8QWE. This is W8WKY. Mike, how you doing tonight? And what's your answer to the trivia?
Kilo Echo 8, Quebec Whiskey Echo. Well, I don't know. I know that A could be a possibility. I know that's a measure of space. I know that C is also a measure of space. And D, I've heard a parsec on Star Trek. So I don't know. I'm going to go with C. I will just simply take C. So that's my answer for trivia. Today, I've just been doing some odds and ends around the house. I got the Can-Am already cleaned up, and that is put up for the winter. I did a couple of HF nets this morning. I was on 20 20s a day, causing some trouble. Well, no, I wasn't. I just made a few contacts. And other than that, we were passing out kids. You know, these people come around, instead of giving them candy, we just give them a kid. Now, we were passing out candy. So that's about all I have. This is Kilo Echo 8, Quebec Whiskey Echo, back to Whiskey 8, Whiskey Kilo Yankee.
Oh, Mike. People were coming up to your door, giving you candy, and you were giving them children. I'm surprised someone didn't call the police. KE8QWE, Mike, great hearing you. We got you down for C tonight. Have a great night. Thanks for being here. Next up, we have the luckiest guy at the Hamfest on Sunday. KE8UIB. I hope you bought some scratchers on the way home there, John. Take it away.
KD8FOG from KE8UIB. Good evening, Nick, and everybody out there on the net. And yes, very lucky. I should have bought a scratch off, but I wasn't pushing my luck. It was a great day. It was a really lucky day. Let me take a quick second here and go ahead and answer the trivia question. This scares me because, I know the general rule of thumb. Eric never chooses C. If it wasn't for that, I would be confident in C. But my mom and dad are both listening. She just messaged me and they're both agreeing with C, so we'll take Charlie. and see how that goes. But as far as Hamfest, that was a really great time. This will definitely go down as one of the most memorablest Hamfest for me, for sure. I guarantee that. I couldn't have been any luckier, and I still feel like a kid at Christmas over it. I got a tuner coming for it here in the next couple of days, and till then, I have a 10 meter that SWR is perfect on, and I get out. Well, I've already made quite a few 10 meter contacts, so hey, I can't argue with that. That's for sure. But with that, this is KE8UIB. I'm going to go ahead and hand this back over to Net 730, y'all.
KE8UIB, W8WKY. For those of you who don't know, and John was very humble, John walked away with the grand prize at the Hamfest on Sunday, a brand new Yaesu 891. And I think it's funny that you immediately did the ham calculus, as I called it, and decided that since you won something like that, you were able to spend the money on the tuner to match it. John, you're a good guy. You deserve it. And I'm glad we didn't beat you up and take it from you in the parking lot like we were planning on. Going to clear with KE8UIB. Joe's in town. KE8VQX. So good to hear you on the radio there, Joe. Where did you get back from, and what's your answer to the trivia question tonight?
W8WKY, this is KE8VQX. Hello, Nick, and everyone else on the net. It's good to hear everybody. I literally just walked in the door about 10 minutes ago, changed out of the uniform just in time to sit down to get on the net here. So just flew in from San Francisco, and glad to be done for 4 days. Went through the mailbox with all the usual annoyances this time of year, but was happy to find a little bag with my Barometer Net T-shirt in there. So thanks to AA8CS for Nick or Gary for sending that to me. I'm happy to have that now. To be back. And as far as the trivia goes, geez, I have no idea. I was going to go with C Lightyear because that's the only thing I can get my mind even an eighth of the way wrapped around. And Parsec, I guess, has been ruined by the Star Trek and Star Wars references because that sounded good to me. So I don't know. I think I'll just go with B, Bravo, this time to be a contrarian, and maybe I'll luck out. So anyway, great to hear everyone, and hope to be on the radio for the next few days before I have to leave town again. So this has been KE8VQX, back to W8WKY, and Net Control. Thanks again.
KE8VQX, W8WKY. We got you down for Bravo there, Joe. I think I may follow you down that rabbit hole. I'm still thinking about it. Good to hear from you. Enjoy your days off, and the T-shirts are fabulous. I think I saw six or seven of them at the Hamfest on Sunday. I was wearing one, and so was the next guy up, KE8VZA, Eric. How you doing tonight? What's your answer to the trivia question?
W8WKY, this is KE8VZA. For trivia, I'm going to short circuit Shorter's postulate. Boy, that's a mouthful. And I'm going to go with delta parsec. I'm going to go out on the edge there of logical answers and go with parsec. Yes, I was sporting my Net T-shirt in the navy blue color, and it was very nice to see other T-shirts there in the other colors as well. Congrats to John for winning the radio, KE8UIB. I was right there when he won it with everyone else. It was great to see the excitement. And other than that, work today was okay work day. We had 0 trick-or-treaters tonight. So now I've got, something. I got to come up with a solution for this candy. But let's see. Looked out the window today, this evening, while I was waiting for trick-or-treaters. A white flaky substance falling from the sky. I have no idea what that is. But that's all I have. This is KE8VZA, back to Net Control.
KE8VZA, VZA, WAWKY. It was great seeing you there at the Hamfest, Eric, and I think my favorite color of the T-shirts is the cardinal. That was what I was sporting. And, yeah, my phone app was telling me that it was snowing here, and I went outside all excited, expecting to see some, and I haven't seen it yet. But we'll see what it looks like in the morning, won't we? Fine business, Eric. Good talking to you. Going to clear with K8VZA. Next up, we got John, WO3X. John, what do you got for us tonight, and what's your answer to the trivia?
Good evening, Nick, and all on the net. This is WO3X. Yeah, my table was the second table from the end of the row that was by the excitement there of John winning the FT891. That was pretty good there. Let's see, and I did well at the Hamfest. There was one item I didn't sell that I would have liked to have sold, but the other items that I did sell confirmed my plans for what I'm going to have on the top of my mast that I'm going to redo. So that worked out pretty well. And let's see, on the trivia question, it might sound kind of silly or whatever, but I too am going to go with D, Delta Parsec. So with that, back to the net, WAWKY, this is WO3X.
WO3X, WAWKY. John, I'm glad you had a successful foray there at the Hamfest, and it was good seeing you there as well. And I'm glad that things are working out for what you want to do with the top of your mast there. We'll be listening for you. Going to clear with WO3X. Next up, we got Jerry, KC8HDP. This guy's crazy prolific on the radio these days. Saw him at the Hamfest, too. Jerry, it was great seeing you and breaking bread with you there for a couple of minutes. How are you tonight? And what's your answer to the trivia question?
Well, good evening, Nick, and good evening, Eric. Thanks for picking up the net this evening, Nick. And Eric, thank you once again for the trivia question. You always have such fantastic questions. Yes, I really enjoyed the Hamfest. It was a good time. Seeing most of the people, well, that are on the net tonight at the Hamfest. It was a really good time. I did buy a desk microphone that has a hookup for 2 radios. Joining that, and I also got a scanner antenna. So, and I also won one of the prizes. I won either I had my choice of a concealed carry class or a hip holster for a firearm. So, a good deal there. I better answer the trivia question before I forget. Since no one has picked A yet, and I don't know exactly what the answer is anyway, I'm going to pick Alpha, and somebody's going to get it right that way. I am certainly glad I did not show up at Mike's house to go trick-or-treating, that's for sure. Boy, that would have been a big responsibility. And I want to say congratulations to John on winning the grand prize. I was really hoping to win second prize, and a lot of people laughed at me when I said that, but he was a complete POTA package with the solar panel, battery, and everything. So radio and everything. Sounded like a really cool deal. But anyway, I'll say hello to the guy who's after me, W2JLS John. Good to hear you on the net this evening, and hello. Don't really have anything else, so I'm going to send it back to you, Nick. And yes, it was great breaking bread with you and seeing you at the Hamfest. Enjoyed visiting with you. So with that, W8WKY and the net from KC8HDP 73.
KC8HDP, W8WKY. Jerry, I'd forgotten you won a prize too, you lucky dog. That's right, we talked about it. I think you're going to go for the holster. That's what I'm thinking. Got you down for Alpha. We do have all the answers covered now, so somebody's going to win the prize tonight, and that is a big pat on the back. We're going to clear with KC8HDP, and next up we got my brother from another mother. W2JLS, he was at the Hamfest too. Wow, I got a bunch of friends here I saw over the weekend. W2JLS. Good evening, John. What do you have for the net? And you're a physics guy. What's your answer tonight?
Nick for the Whiskey 8 Whiskey Kilo Yankee. This is W2JLS. And hello, Jerry. I'm sorry I missed you at the Hamfest. I gathered from Nick after you'd left, or I believe you had left, that you'd left. So I was there as well. I'm sorry I didn't run into you. Maybe the next time, one of these times. And hello to Mark, who is also at the festival. It seems rather ham-festy in here tonight, if I may say so. Yeah, and I am kind of a physics guy, and I don't understand why the struggle over parsec, because it's in science fiction, I suppose. People assume it's fiction, but I believe the answer is parsec in my perspective. If I heard the choices correctly, I think that's the biggest length. I was trying to rationalize an arc second, maybe between two distant objects. The distance between those objects might be bigger than a parsec, but I don't think that's the nature of the question. So I'm going to go with parsec. Let's see, what else for the net? Yeah, I worked and got home tonight, and I was like, I got to get these damn leaves up, because I feel like one of those neighbors at this point, because I've let them linger. The first major dropping has happened, and my lawn was just covered with them. And I could see I was running out of light getting into it, and I ended up getting it done, but got it done, most of it in the dark, so feel pretty good about that. I used the lawnmower. My mower does a pretty good job at mulching stuff up into the bag, and I've got a nice compost heap out there, and I just dumped it all over there. So kind of embraced the evening out there this fall night. It was quite nice. Anyway, I won't hold it. Thanks for having me, Nick. I'll send it back to you, buddy. W2JLS back to KD8SLG for the Whiskey 8 Whiskey Kilo Yankee.
W8WKY.
Oh, there's a reminder to identify. This is W8WKY repeater. This is the Sarah Club Net every Tuesday night, and that was W2JLS. He picked D part. I'm on board with you there, John. I picked D as well. I typed it in there on NetLogger for myself a minute or two ago, and we'll see how all that works out. It's great seeing you over the weekend, John, and good job on the leaves. I'm sure your neighbors are applauding silently from across the street. Going to clear with W2JLS. Next up, we got KG4SCK, Mark. Man, I'm glad you're back in town. It was great seeing you over the weekend as well. And I did want to let you know, I did go meet Nancy at noon today, and I did deliver the package, and she was tickled pink. KG4SCK, what do you got for the net tonight, and what's your answer to the trivia question?
Well, hello, Nick, and W8WKY, everybody out there. Well, I kind of miss going home and passing out candy to all the little trick-or-treaters, but I got to watch them on the security camera up here and cute little outfits and stuff. Man, the Ham Fest was such a blast, especially to see so many Sarah Club members in the beautiful T-shirts, and I think I broke even. Spent $5 to get in, another $5 for raffle tickets, and Nick, you brought my lunch, so thank you very much for that. And turned into a little shutterbug there. That was fun. Well, let's get to the trivia question. I was going to go with C, but listening to John, W2JLS, I think I'm going to change my answer to Delta. C just scares me with Eric. This is KG4SCK, back to net.
KG4SCK, creeping on the security camera. I didn't get any trick-or-treaters either, but I buy candy every year. I get one of those huge bags from Sam's Club, knowing full well I won't get any trick-or-treaters, but I will have one of those tiny little candy bars every day for the rest of the year. It made it until August this year. Maybe I had more than one every day. Mark, great seeing you. Thanks for being here. And for those of you who don't know, Mark designed the Barometer Net t-shirt that many of us are wearing, and kudos for that, Mark. Thank you very much. I'm going to clear with KG4SCK. He's the bottom of the list already. I see KC8FQV joined us there in the monitors list. So, Mark, I got you on the list. You'll be up first, but let's see if anybody else out there wants to join us tonight. This is W8WKY, and I'm looking for check-ins.
Kilo Echo 8, Victor Kilo Alpha, Josh in Akron.
Wow. Okay. We added KE8VKA there, Josh. I was waiting for KE8YUK, but nothing heard there. We'll do one more round of check-ins, and then we're going to go back to KC8FQV here. Anybody else out there want to get in on the party tonight? This is W8WKY. Go.
W8WKY, Whiskey Victor 3 Kilo with no traffic, Nick.
All right, we added Whiskey Victor 3 Kilo there. Phil, good evening, Phil. No traffic. Maybe we'll catch up later. Thanks for stopping by and saying hi. Well, let's go up to Mark, see what he's got for an answer tonight. KC8FQV, how are you tonight, Mark, and what's your answer to the trivia question?
Well, I just dialed in when you were finishing up, when Jason and John was finishing it up. But I'm going to say Alpha. I'll try that. For Aurora, yeah, I just finished the cider. Well, there's a little more. It's hard cider out of Worcester, Moreland. Yeah, I got out there. My mom did. And I like hard cider. I don't like buying this cider they sell in the stores. Yeah, that Mickey Mouse cider. I don't want that. That's toy cider. I want the real stuff. So I had that. There's a little bit left there, and I'll be done. That stuff was getting hard. The jar, the plastic jug, it would expand, and every time I opened it, it burped out the gas. But yeah, I want to say Alpha. We stopped at the Echolink group and said hello to them. They knew where I was heading for. I have the Lear meeting on tonight. They're doing it Zoom. So, and I did put myself in on a request from Randy to get into that Facebook. So we'll wait for that to come. But great seeing everyone Sunday down there at the Maps Museum. So, let's send it back to net, KCFQV.
KC8FQV, W8WKY. Great to hear you tonight there, Mark. I almost hit you at the Amfest there because you had to read my call. You had to read my name tag for my calls. Come on, Mark, you know me. Good golly, man. Let's go back to Eric and get him to read the question. You may want to change your answer there, Mark. And Eric hasn't reread the question yet, and we're going to be done way early. So let's get Eric to read the question again. Maybe Josh didn't hear it either. W8EL. Could you give us the question again, please, Eric?
W8WKY from W8ELM. I will be happy to, Nick. The distances in space are almost incomprehensible, and astronomers use several different units to measure those distances. So your question tonight is, which of the following units represents the longest distance? A, 1 astronomical unit. B, 1 arc second. C, 1 light year. D, 1 parsec. Again, A, 1 astronomical unit. B, 1 arc second. C, 1 light year. Or D, 1 parsec. Back to net.
W8ELM, W8WKY. Thank you very much, Eric. Let's go back to Mark real quick and see if he wants to stick with Alpha tonight. KC8FQV. Mark, what do you think?
Well, next case, okay, I want to go to Charlie. I think it's light years. I think that's what they talk about, light years. So that's what we'll do. We'll leave a A for the Aurora lights up there on the, we used to have a net, it was called the Aurora, but I want to say Charlie. So, KCFQV, back to net control, Nick.
KC8FQV, W8WKY. All right, I changed it over to Charlie there, Mark. And thanks for being here, buddy. We'll hear you down the coax somewhere. Let's go out to Josh, KE8VKA. Glad we got the question there for you. How are you tonight, Josh? And what's your answer to the trivia question?
W8WKY, KE8VKA. Thanks for getting me in there, Nick. And thanks for getting the trivia question read there again. I'm going to go with AUs, I think. I'm not positive. I wonder if what a parsec translates to from the Star Wars canon to real world. I'm sure somebody on Wikipedia has it translated to real units. But anyways, heck, for all I know, it could be. Anyways, not too much going on. Got home from work. Lucy took Betty trick-or-treating at a friend's neighborhood, and she's all dressed up in a little shark costume that my mother-in-law put together for her. So that is incredibly adorable. So that's what's going on, and I'm going to sit down here and come up with a couple of trivia questions for the BeaconNet starting. I got to get one ready for tomorrow, and I think I'm going to sit here and try to come up with a few extras so I have a little bit more in the backlog. There's a couple of YouTube channels I follow that put out trivia questions, and I've taken some screenshots of those, but I'm not sure if I want to use them or not. I'm going to kind of filter through all the material I've been saving and kind of build it into something. So that's my plan for the night. I don't have too much else. Maybe enjoy a little bit of radio like I am now. So thanks for picking me up, and thanks for doing the net. Good to hear you. W8WKY from KE8VKA. 7-3s, everybody.
KE8VKA, W8WKY. Josh, thanks for being here, man. Little Betty in a shark costume sounds cute. So you say hi to Miss Lucy for me, and bounce the baby on your knee once or twice for me, and you have a great night. Good hearing from you, and I will catch up with you tomorrow night on the BeaconNet at the very latest. That's 10 o'clock Eastern Time. Early check-ins start a half hour beforehand, and I will be there for the pre-show tomorrow night. And it sounds like Josh is going to have one of the trivia questions. Awesome. Going to clear with KE8VKA at the bottom of the list again. I'm going to put out one more call before we get the answers from Eric. This is the last call for the Sarah ClubNet tonight. This is your last chance. This is W8WKY. I'm listening. like nothing heard. I'm going to make the watch net tonight. Let's go to Eric and get to the answer to tonight's trivia question. W8ELM, what do you got for us?
Well, thank you, Nick, and again, thanks for running the net. And first, I'll tell you a little bit about my day. Well, first, I'll answer a couple questions here. John, let's see, it was Eric that saw some white flaky stuff, and I'm sure that was probably ash from the Canadian Flyers coming down, because it's certainly too early for that other white stuff. Congratulations to John and Jerry. John for winning the Yaesu 891, and Jerry, I'm going to treat you very nicely from now on after hearing what it was that you won. Let's see, anything else? I believe that's all the notes that I marked down, so I'll get a little bit of time here. The question was, which of the following units represents the longest distance? Well, A, 1 astronomical unit is the average distance between the Earth and the Sun. So it is used mostly for measurements within the solar system. The average distance is about, 93 million miles or 150 million kilometers, something like that. Choice B, 1 arc second, is not even a measure of distance. We'll get to that in just a little bit. Choice C, 1 light year, is the distance that light or any type of electromagnetic radiation, including radio waves, travels in 1 year in a vacuum. And 1 parsec is the correct answer to tonight's trivia question. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 correct answers there. And I'll get a little time, and I've got a little more information. A light year is the distance light travels in a year, which is approximately 6 trillion miles, or 9.6 trillion kilometers. And a parsec would be 206,265 astronomical units, or about 3.26 light years. The definition of a parsec is the distance at which the diameter of Earth's orbit, not 93 million miles, but 186 million miles, if something was at that distance, it would subtend 1 arc second, 1 second of arc. So that's a really long way out there. Let's see, winners tonight. W8WKY, Nick. KE8VZA, Eric. W03X, also known as W03X, John. W2JLS, John, and KG4SCK, Mark. Congratulations on your astronomical and physical knowledge. This is W8ELM, back to net.
W8ELM, W8WKY. You never fail to amaze me with your trivia questions there, Eric. Great question tonight, and I hope I aided in being a distractor. Yeah, I have actually looked into that before because of the Star Wars thing. Everyone always assumes that it's a time because it's a race, but actually being a measure of distance, getting through the Kessel Run was bouncing from basically black hole to black hole through a really, really twisted area, and the point was to get through in the shortest distance, not necessarily the shortest time. I'm a Star Wars geek. Eric, fine business as always. Thank you very much for being here, as always, as well. I am going to ask if anybody else wants to get on the list tonight before I shut the net down, or if anybody has any rechecks. Now's your chance. This is W8WKY.
W3X recheck.
Hi, how's it going there, Nick?
Kilo 8, Oscar Whiskey X-ray, mobile, in and out, Nick.
Okay, so if you recheck, just want to know the letter.
VOX, in and out.
Whiskey 8, Charlie Tango Mike, Kerry, in and out.
All right, a nice little flurry there at the end. We picked up W8SCI, Walter, hello. KE8OWX was in and out. KE8VOX was in and out. And W8CTM was in and out. Tom, Scott, and Kerry, thank you very much. Got a recheck from W03X, and KC8FQV wanted to know the answer. The answer was Delta there, Mark. It was Delta. Walt, are you, do you have anything to say, or were you just checking it out? W8SCI, W8WKY.
How's it going there, Nick? I don't really have too much to say. Just kind of wanted to drop in. I just happened to turn the radio on and heard you were taking check-in, so I thought I'd go ahead and get my name on the list. So I've already done my eating, and I guess you could say I was productive today, so I'll be happy for myself with that. I didn't get to hear the question, but I did thought I briefly caught some wind of it earlier. It sounded pretty scientific, so it sounded pretty interesting. I don't have as much to say, so I'll go ahead and pass it back to you, Nick, and hope everybody votes yes on issue 2.
W8WKY.
W8SCI, W8WKY. Walt, I'm glad you felt you had a productive day. I'm pretty sure I heard on the radio today that you're on vacation, so make the most of it there, buddy. And we had a recheck from W03X. Go, John.
Yeah, this is John, W03X. After I checked in, I went and turned on the light that lights up the backyard, and I have some ash falling. So I assume that's ash from the fires up in Canada. I guess it's falling there. So that's what my recheck is about. So with that, back to the net. W8WKY, this is W03X.
On ash it is. Thank you for that. We're going to clear with W03X. Thank everybody who checked in here tonight on the Club Net. We ended up with 31 tonight. That's not a bad 48 minutes work. Once again, thanks everybody. It was good hearing you. Look forward to seeing you all at the meeting in about 2 weeks, and hopefully we'll have something up about the Christmas party in short order, being 5 weeks away. Just save the date, December 7th, please. With that, I am going to close the net tonight and return the repeater to regular amateur use at 0048 UTC. That is 8:48 Eastern Standard Time. And I'd like to take the opportunity to invite you all to the WatchNet at 9 o'clock, right after us here. KD8QGQ, that's Millersburg down there, 146670. Negative offset, and I think it's, I can't remember the tone right now. Forgive me. If anybody needs it, give me a holler. I'll find it in a second. But in the meantime, we're closing this down. Everyone have a great night. This is KD8SLG, returning W8WKY call sign to the repeater. Y'all have a good night. I'm clear.
71.9.
71.9 it is. Thank you very much. KD8SLG clear.
3.5-inch floppy.
Got some 3.5-inch floppies. They're brand new. Anybody want to buy them? Just joking.
Kenny, I swear to God. Fred, we used to fight cat and dog. This is why me and my mom don't get along these days. We can't sit in a room more than 5 minutes because, like, we're so competitive. And it started with computers, like, way back. You remember whenever you used to have a little turbo button on the case of your computer and made you feel privileged?
Oh, yeah. Remember when Nintendo and then there was another company, they were putting out those DOS computers? Had a couple of those for the kids, too, down through the years. And, used to play on them.
My wife got carpal tunnel from that Mario's.
No, I'm talking about the little vending machine lock key on the front of the computer case back in the 80s. And then it had a turbo button sitting right next to you. And if you hit it, it lit up and it made you feel like you were doing special things, but it did nothing for the circuitry or the computer board.
It was a gimmick. Yeah. Oh, well, I had a Windows 3.1 machine. I still wish I had that thing because it had a satellite tracking software program on it. STS Plus, I think is what it was called. And they're getting better now on the Windows ones, but it was great.
How about that 386, 486, 8 gigabyte, or wait a minute, 8 megabyte memory little stick. This thing looked like almost like a dental floss in fashion. But how about those back in the day, Kenny? Remember that whenever we started out with 486 and a 386? It was either one.
Oh, yeah, and I remember getting a Pentium. What was it, a Pentium 4 or something like that? I forget. It was 100 megabyte Pentium 2. That's what it was, with Windows 95. Thought that was the cat's meow.
You got a computer with Windows Vista?
Yeah, I never went through the Vista thing. I did go into 7. I think I missed 8, 9, whatever, went right to 10.
And then we go into Windows 95, 98, Vista, Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows 11, and I'm jumping through a lot of different mid-ranges.
I started writing them down in a book.
You got it, Fred.
Windows 10 is where I've stopped so far. They finally got it down pretty good on Windows 10, too.
Windows 11 is the same thing. It's just the Jefferson's version. It's identical.
They started getting pretty good when they finally hit Windows 7. You got away from all them crashes Windows 95 used to have all the time.
It used to freeze up.
Yeah, roger that. Windows 7 was the only the only Windows platform that's ever made its mark for Windows, like the way it has. Yeah, Windows 7 is phenomenal.
I skipped that one.
Then they gave you Windows 10.
They're all free now.
I remember upgrading. They said Windows 10 was going to be free, and upgrading to Windows 10.
The time is 9 p.m.
But they won't let you do Windows 11 if you don't have the proper computer.
None of my computers can run Windows 11.
Blake. Fred, I'm a little bit more than a ham. That's an easy bypass if you understand what I'm saying.
What's that, upgrading to Windows 11?
You got breaker station in there, Kenny. The computer that you were born with back in the day when Mac had a green screen, you remember that? We had Oregon Trail. Let's go back to that day. Windows 11 will run on anything. You just got to understand how to load it. Kenny, you got breaker station in there.
That breaker out there, go ahead.
You copy me, Kenny?
Oh, yeah. Which says we got a breaker on the frequency. I was just letting that station go. If we got a breaker on the frequency, go ahead.
Somebody went break.
We haven't heard the village guy yet.
He's playing Oregon Trail.
Maybe the devil came and took him home.
We ain't that lucky today, Kenny.
Yeah, I took that radio you gave me, I put a hand strap on it. I put the belt clip on it from an old one that doesn't work. And I put one of those rubber cases on, so it's now red and black. The case is red, the radio is black, it's Struthers colors.
So you personalized it and you made it your way because it's a very versatile radio. It's a both thing. They're a piece of crap that you can destroy, throw in the river, and then replace tomorrow. You gotta love them.
Oh yeah, I was like the first guy out here ever to buy one. Everybody says, oh, they're junk, they won't be any good, blah, blah, blah. And so then after everybody heard mine, people started buying them.
I don't like the belt clip.
If I lose this radio tomorrow, I'll replace it tomorrow.
KC8, so NST. Somewhere out there, they're selling them for $3 a piece.
KE8 and KI for ID.
Every time I use that belt clip, I can't get it off my belt. I have to unbuckle it and pull it through.
Oh, well, I don't have that problem.
KE8 and KI radio change.
Let's see if it says what year this Baofeng was made in inside here. My goodness gracious. See how long I had it for.
2007.
It's written in Chinese, you can't read it anyway.
Bill, yeah. I couldn't say that. I thought maybe it was still out there for case the manufacturer date because I didn't have to comply with the FCC. Do that. I didn't know.
You're right, Fred, but they make it so small, it's written in Chinese, it doesn't matter anyway.
I bought this radio before 2007, Fred. It was one of the first ones out. I think I bought it right around 2002.
They probably put better parts in it.
Well, it finally gave up to Ghost, so I stripped off the belt clip and the case off of it and the little hand strap. You know, that little hand strap saved me from dropping them a couple of times. I'd lose hold of the radio and be able to catch the little strap.
I got one stuck. Sorry about that. God. I got one stuck on the High Line in Warren over there, what do you call it, by the courthouse.
You better give up them cigarettes.
Good afternoon, Greg, and everybody on the net. Well, it's interesting.
Yeah, I know. I was in the middle of running in here because I was talking,
which was kind of neat. The whole pile of them in the street were sort of carried around by the parents, and all of them came up in a great big bunch, which was fine. It was kind of fun for a change. Other than that, Nine and I are doing about the same. The weather's at least cool. That's kind of good. It's raining occasionally, which I don't like, but the white stuff will come sooner or later. Of course, the concrete people still haven't fixed the driveway, but I suspect that's going to happen next year now. We'll see what happens. With that, back to net, NF1X. Take care, everybody.
Okay, Neil, I know you and Nina take care if you got to go out tomorrow. In case it gets a little slippery there on the edges, and we've been waiting on that driveway for a while. Okay, where am I at here? W9HIP, the other Neil up in Painesville. Neil, good evening to you and Christine. What you got?
Well, hi, Greg and Annette, and Christine says hi. Well, we kind of expected some Halloweeners to come by, but they didn't. It's kind of a toss-up year to year. We didn't get any. I like that idea that Neil spoke of, where some of the neighbors get together and walk their kids around. That sounds like a real safe thing to do. Anyway, we were ready and no action, but in their defense, it's pretty bad weather. So I guess that's all I have. Hope everyone's good. W9HIP 73.
WB8SIQ.
Okay, Neil. Yeah, they had trick-or-treat down here in Kent on Saturday afternoon for the kids. Wasn't a lot of them out there, but, well, anyway, they were out there doing their thing. WB8SIQ, hi, Don. You got anything for us?
Wish I did, but I don't. I know WBYYS is looking for me. Maybe traffic is coming this way, and I got held up at a little family meeting and couldn't make it till now. Over.
Okay. That is him doing the speaking here, by the by.
Don't even know your audio just yet. I talked to you a few times like this, and other than that, I'll get used to your audio one of these days.
Okay. My sideband rep didn't show up tonight. Can you take a piece of traffic to Wisconsin?
Sir.
Okay. If it gets you the one for your station first, it's an ARL 47, so a short one there. I'll give you yours first, and I'll send you the Wisconsin. You let me know when you're ready.
Ready to copy.
Okay. The first one is 1010 routine. Handling instructions golf. WB8YYS. Check of ARL 10. Kent, KENT, Ohio. October figures 29er. Going to WB8SIQ, break. Initial group Alpha Romeo Lima. Figures 47. Figures 70. Amateur call Whiskey Bravo 8 Lima Charlie Delta.
stovepipe's about an hour or so ago. I figured he'd be on here by now. Yeah, Arnie's done wore him out today. Yeah, Arnie wore him out all right. Laboratory watching Arnie was. Yep, that's what he told me he was doing when I called him. I said, what you been doing? He said, watching Arnie spot work. I was going to get my radio tomorrow. On this was going to go to take my radio and my amp system, and I had to wait a while then. Oh, yes, you had to go find it. You'll have to wait. Yeah, I might get somebody to drive that boy firm, and it hurts to sit in that one position, that leg down very long, and I believe I'll just wait till I get better. Well, that'd probably be your best bet for you. The man don't want to take off, you know, when he's not having problems. Wet. I haven't been getting on it hardly nothing. They just woke up this morning, just big old veins and red from my knee down. They're just big splotches all the way down. So I called them. Boy, if I wasn't, they told me if I thought I was in bad shape, go to the emergency center. I'm going to get me another doctor. Why, yeah, that ain't no sound like much of a doctor tell you that. I mean, you got enough sense to know if you need to go to the emergency room, but you know, you just calling the doctor to see about getting to see him, and they tell you something like that. You don't get to see talk to the doctor. It's a girl that changes the phone, though. You get to talk to. Oh. Is this doctor been your doctor a long time? Oh, he's not been my doctor a long time. I've known him a long time, but he's not been my doctor. Just changed for one bit. But he's pretty well known. He got the last name. Same last name you got. Well, hey. 1, click down on Arm Up.
When you was in Chicago, just
oh yeah, I was running on the playground. And about lost my leg, they won't amputate. Wayne, he's cried ever since. I've been crying before then. What a lucky dude, he left Chicago. If he'd been still, so they done killed him. Probably so. You're probably right. He done. Had to live with it. You're probably right. I went through that area going on up into West Virginia, Wisconsin, and they stole the dead blame turnbuckles and the chains and stuff right off of my trailer and me driving.
Well, that's pretty fast, wasn't it? Anyway, top of the evening, everybody. What have you been up to, Arnie? I thought Arnie might have been there. What have you been up to, Leon?
Really seen nothing.
Been sitting nowhere, done a whole lot of nothing. Slept, had me a big long nap today, and got up. Come here, turned this radio on. There wasn't nobody on it. I listened to them wing nuts for a while.
on the floor. Cavaliers have said, hey, these youngsters have gotten us back in the game. Porter and Merrill are still out there, although Niang, Struce, and Mobley will join them.
That's what I'm talking about.
So off the timeout, DiVincenzo throws it in to Jalen Brunson. Brunson matched up against Craig Porter Jr. Brunson on the left-hand dribble into the forecourt up the left sideline. Brunson still on the dribble, works his way to the half-court line, comes around Porter. Brunson right corner to Hart. Hart against Merrill. Hart fires left side to DiVincenzo, down on the baseline to Hartenstein, left-handed hook shot, good from Isaiah.
Yeah, nice move, nice play action by the Knicks.
Lead back to...
At the tone, 1 hour, 32 minutes. tone, 1 hour, 37 minutes. Coordinated Universal Time. At the tone, 1 hour, 38 minutes. Coordinated Universal Time.
They're everywhere.
Now, in that case, the way it was assigned is that the speakers didn't.
CHU, Canada. Coordinated Universal Time. 1 hour, 40 minutes. 1 heure, 40 minutes.
KC1 FCS signing off from the great state of Maine. And it certainly is great. And we take care now, 7-3. This is WA1 Quebec Zulu X-ray signing off from the state of Massachusetts. Bye-bye.
to God, no one understands it.
It doesn't edify the church at all unless they interpret. And if they do interpret, then 2 or 3 of them are welcome to do so.
That is, 2 or 3 people could speak in tongues one at a time and only with an interpretation. That's how it should be in the church. But it's obviously not talking about a language anyone knows. In fact, Paul specifically says no one does. Then, of course, if apart from either a sign to the unbelievers or edification to the church, there's also speaking in tongues simply to edify yourself when you just speak to God within yourself in tongues. And that's why Paul says in verse 4, he who speaks in a tongue edifies himself, which is not bad. Edify means to spiritually build one up. In fact, in Jude, verse 20, Jude commands us, build yourselves up in your most holy faith, praying in the Holy Spirit. Now, praying in the Spirit is a term that Paul uses in 1 Corinthians 14 for speaking in tongues.
at 0000 Zulu until the first at 3400 Zulu. Wind 370 degrees, 12 knots. Visibility more than 6 miles. Few clouds at 5,000. Becoming between 0400 and 0600 Zulu. Wind 320 degrees, 8 knots. St. John. Valid from the first at 0000 Zulu until the first at 3400 Zulu. Wind 300 degrees, 10 knots. Visibility more than 6 miles. Few clouds at 4,000. Becoming between 0000 Zulu and 0200 Zulu. Wind 260 degrees, 6 knots. Halifax. Valid from the first at 0000 Zulu until the first at 3400 Zulu. Wind 320 degrees, 6 knots. Visibility more than 6 miles. Ceiling 3,000 broken. Becoming 00.
Stand by, I'll advise ATC.